What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Halving Report podcast with myself, your host, Brad Mines. The price of Bitcoin is approximately $28.3 thousand US, and there is 1 year and 3 weeks left until the next Bitcoin halving. Today on the show, we have Tracy Leparulo. Tracy is the CEO of Untraceable Events, which incorporates the Blockchain Futurist Conference right here in Toronto. The Halving Report will be back for a second year at the Blockchain Futurist Conference, so if you're going to come on out, say what's up to myself and the rest of the team. So go to futuristconference.com, and when purchasing your ticket for the Blockchain Futurist Conference this August, be sure to enter Halving 30 to get your discounted ticket. We'll see you there. And we're so happy to have Tracy onto the show, who makes it all happen. So let's get right to it. Tracy, thanks for coming on to the Halving Report podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something we've been planning to do for a while. I'm finally glad we got together. You're the founder and CEO of Untraceable Events. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is your fifth year doing the Blockchain Futurist Conference. This will be the second year. Halving Report will be there. How excited are you for this year's event?
Oh, we're so excited, and we love all your support throughout the years. You're right. It is our fifth year to do Blockchain Futurist Conference up here in Toronto, Canada.
Awesome. So, what's going to be similar this year? What's going to be different?
Oh, so we're hitting 2023. It's a very different year. So we're back into the bear market. I've been doing crypto events for 10 years now. And so I've been the up and the downs. And it's always a little interesting when we're in a bear market. What we do is we find the companies that come out are the ones that didn't have all their reserves in crypto. They were smart, usually extremely professional companies, ones that are really builders in the space. So I actually like producing events during the bear market in the sense that the real projects that come out that have real business models, real revenue streams that aren't just focused specifically on token price. And so you start seeing some really legitimate companies, take surface. The conversations are going to be quite interesting this year. We have a lot of speaker applications which are open, but they're going to be a lot about the recession, a lot about inflation, a lot about this traditional capital markets, and a lot about the banks, which is, funny enough, because that's what we used to always be talking about back in 2013, 2014 when I was doing events. And then just kind of, got forgotten about. It was all get capital markets in, and we like the banks. And now we're here in the conversation, take a U-turn again to say put your money into crypto, and banks, might not have all the money they say they have.
Definitely. That being said, what do you think of the recent bump in Bitcoin price? I think we had 35% in the past week or so.
Yeah.
And with these banks collapsing all over the place, what are your thoughts around this?
I think the world's in North America specifically, in a really confused state right now. Do we trust the banks? Do they have our money? Do we trust Bitcoin? It's like you almost don't know where to go. And I think a lot of it also has to do with stable coins. Everything that happened to USDC, I was getting text messages from all OTC dealers and like anyone saying, hey, if you need to liquidate today, we can give you this price. And it was like, my phone exploded when that all happened, when the depeg of USDC happened. And so because of that, people had to figure out what's my safest bet. Before it used to be, let's go into stable coins. And I believe that's why the crypto market just exploded after 2020, was because of the use of stable coins. Everyone went into stable coins, kind of held their value. The second we saw what happened to USDC happen, which is interesting because everyone was really saying bad things about USDT for so long. So if you were watching USDT in the last 6 months, you saw the market value really shifted from USDT Tether to USDC. And then when USDC depegged, I think it got everyone scared. And people kind of said, oh, I'd rather take my losses in regular crypto than just not have my stable coins or my money in my bank. So I think that really ultimately had the jump and the bump in Bitcoins, because people back to kind of the core value of people realizing the bank might not have their money.
Certainly. At last conference, BitBoy was one of your main speakers there, as well as Vitalik. Definitely two huge people that I love to hear speak. One thing BitBoy said was that you can't talk about Web3 without talking about Ethereum when he at the last event there. What are your thoughts around Ethereum, the merge, and the recent update about being able to withdraw that stake that replaced the traditional GPU mining?
Totally. listen, Vitalik is a very smart individual, very incredible. And he came and spoke last year at Blockchain Futurist Conference just before the merge. We were so lucky to have him. He spoke about what was happening in the merge. You could feel the nervousness in the audience of people being like, I hope this works out. I hope, and it did. Everything with Ethereum in the merge so far has worked out. There hasn't been a huge pump. There hasn't been a dump. Nothing's broken. There's been a few little things, that took a little bit longer than expected, but we got there. What just happened this month is they actually opened up staking. So Ethereum, you were able to stake your Ethereum for the first time years ago, and they finally opened up. And that was another, you could feel the market being nervous. Is everything going to dump? Are people, what's going to happen here? And again, Ethereum knocked it out of the park. They did it so that you can't just go and release all the tokens at once. It's periodically. And because of it, they're still the leader in the space. The number one way that you can realize Ethereum is a leader of the space and coming from an event planner is look at the events that they put on. So I used to if you go to DevCon, which is Ethereum organized event, they bring last time I went was in Prague, was 8,000, 9,000 developers together. No other chain in Web3 can even come close to that. And I think that's where you can see there's no such thing of talking. That's why BitBoy said there's no such thing as talking about Web3 without talking about Ethereum, because no matter any other chain, maybe Binance might be able to pull some of those numbers, but not even close to what Ethereum can pull in their one event, let alone all the hackathons around the world.
Now, last bull market, NFTs were very much the thing in crypto to draw a lot of people in, get a lot of young people excited about the space. What do you foresee being the next thing in crypto, or will it continue to be NFTs?
NFT, you said it, you nailed it. NFTs brought a lot of young people into the space. I think the gaming community just got really attracted to it. I couldn't believe how many 14-year-olds could talk circles around NFTs to me. Also this world of these collaborative platforms like Discord and Slack and these communities that were never there. It's honestly $1 trillion industry that continues to grow. And I think that was a big thing that bolstered a lot of these communities. These people, when I started using Discord, it was very techy. It was, you weren't going on to learn about artwork and access and things like that. I actually think you asked me kind of where the next generation users come in. I'm going to go back to one of the original things crypto is about, which is the unbanked. I think right now the world is kind of falling apart in terms of financial systems. And I think if Bitcoin really started when it was about helping the unbanked in the world. And I think as economies fall, they're going to look for a reserve to put money into. And I think Bitcoin is going to be the easy one to do it, because I think they're not even going to be able to trust gold or, their financial institutions. So I actually think the next billion users of crypto will be pretty much Bitcoin and Ethereum from the developing and underdeveloped worlds.
Now, are you guys having a hackathon at this year's event?
We're having ETH Toronto again. So it's our second annual. And we're also launching ETH Women. So it's a woman inclusive hackathon focused on women plus the LGBTQ community to bring more females into the space. We're running it with ETH, with Crypto Chicks. And we love hackathons. I've been running them since the first Ethereum hackathon ever. We ran it in 2014. And I like them not just because they bring developers and the builders, but they're very much a power user community. When we ran the first ETH Waterloo, Crypto Chicks launched from there. Crypto Kitties launch from there. It's these really cool projects come out of it. Our 2014, we had something called Dark Wallet come out of it. Andreas Horace invested in that project. So it's quite interesting, the projects that come out, the ideas that come out. And because these hackathons are, ours will be 4 days long, plus an online version, you kind of really make those meaningful connections. And I love them. I feel like I made a lot of my friends in my hackathon. So we are running it in correlation to Futurist, and the semifinals and finalists will be on the Futurist main stage.
What's the outline for developers that come there? What do you guys give them some sort of instructions, or how does that work?
Yeah, for sure. There's two different two different tracks, essentially. The main track that everyone competes in, which is 5 sets of judging criteria, whether it's, on top of my mind, it's product visibility, technical, is it the demo work, overall impression, idea. So we do have a set of criteria. And then the other side, where actually a lot of the cash is the bounties. And these sponsors put up to incentivize developers to build on their products. So, it really helps a lot of companies as well because they get a lot of great feedback about their product. It allows them to kind of garner more talent so they can potentially hire the developers, and it allows to see kind of use cases within their platform, which is cool. Like what I find a lot of things over the years what's happened with events is like we give everybody a deadline. It's like the industry needs deadlines. I'm like, okay, here's your deadline, everybody. Because like every year, 2 or 3 companies, and like I'm talking major companies come and they're like, we have a new brand. Just we'll give you the logo soon, or our product, we got to get like, the demo up by this day or whatever it is. So it's like, it's very healthy for the industry to kind of have these events, and hackathons specifically. I'm always working with all these companies that are trying to get all their resources together to give these developers. So it is interesting if you follow what goes on in events that the companies put out, especially hackathons, because it's usually all their new resources and all the new kind of technology that they're showcasing. We kind of give them a deadline for that.
Now, what were your thoughts on the FTX collapse, and did that affect a lot of people that were, partners with you or somehow correlated with you in the event?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's so sad, right? It was interesting, the whole FTX collapse. Like I'm very well-rounded in the crypto space. And I was talking to, actually, I won't say their name, but a PR agency that's extremely just engulfed in it. And he asked me, he said, "Did you know Sam?" And I said, "No, I've actually never really been in a room with him," which is unique because I've usually typically been in a room, whether it's a private dinner or just over the last decade. And so I actually found that, he had his own circles. He wasn't in the traditional crypto circles or these VIP areas we go to. And that was always a red flag. And it definitely has affected a lot. Like I ran a massive event in Bahamas, huge event called Polycom. I got to know all the local vendors there. I got to know the government quite well, even though it was a different government that was in place now. But I got to know a lot what was going on the island and what they wanted to do for cryptocurrency. And I was in a lot of those conversations to say, how do we bring blockchain technology and investment to the country of Bahamas? And it's like they just FTX in one blow just blew the whole, like that country. I don't think we'll look at crypto ever or as friendly as it ever. So that's impacted that. There were quite a few companies in Canada that were getting acquired by FTX, which totally fell flat. And talking to some founders, that one specific in Canada, I was talking to her, and she said, we put everything on hold because of it. They put a lot of their product developments on hold because of it. Everything that they would have done in terms of marketing to gain more clients and compete, they put that all on hold because FTX was acquiring them, and now they're back, starting from the ground. So it's unfortunate. It's affected everything. And yeah, like I don't know how you keep bad apples like that. I know people are, you hear like Ben Armstrong is, potentially getting in trouble for doing FTX. He was on the front of Forbes, Sam. Like I think he was kind of verified for all of us. So it was such a sad, and it kind of makes me sick, the story.
Definitely. Now, there's a lot of people out there that, want to sell their coin or their token. What are your thoughts around, or what's your financial philosophy when it comes to allocation in crypto? And has that FTX scandal changed that at all?
Like when you're creating a token, how to allocate the tokens? Is that what the question is more about?
No, sorry. I mean, like, what percentage of your portfolio would you want to keep Ethereum? What percentage would you want to keep like a Bitcoin? How much would you invest into to other cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, no financial advice. I've seen everyone do it differently in the years. The smartest people that I've seen make the most is, no matter what the price is of anything, they put a little bit in every day or every week. They don't look at the price. Put in the projects that you think are builders ultimately, that you can clearly see revenue from. But I don't know how you would have ever, like, it's hard when you relate it to FTX because it just seemed like it got verified by everybody. Like, how did you get your name on a stadium? How did you, like, there's all these huge things that you think, tons of lawyers vetted them and political. So it's hard to it's unfortunately really hard to do that. Ethereum, I think, is a safe bet, but ultimately, if you don't know what to do in crypto, Bitcoin is the safest bet. So that would just be my advice: is make sure you're into Bitcoin.
Well said. Now I'm going to try to pry a little bit on this year's conference. And if you have any information on, what kind of guests you might have this year.
Exciting, right? We haven't announced anyone yet. I'm hoping Bitcoin will come back. I think it will. Although we haven't announced anybody just yet. So stay tuned. The ones like Vitalik and Charles from Cardano and a few other big ones, they come a little bit later on in the year, but we have brought out the biggest kind of names in crypto. And even Vitalik doesn't go to Consensus or Paris or, doesn't go to a lot of these events. So we're very fortunate to bring kind of the heavy hitters here in Toronto.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see them there and so close to home, right? Tracy, what do you like to do when you're not thinking about Bitcoin, blockchain, planning events?
I love to travel. I love doing art, love visual art as much as I can get it. And yeah, I love going out and socializing. I'm a big event person. I think COVID really put a damper on everything. So I try as hard as I can to get out with my friends and bring people together.
What's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever gotten?
Oh, fate favors the bold. Just be bold in whatever you do. It doesn't matter what it is. Just be bold. And I think fate will guide you.
Do you have any favorite resources, books, podcasts?
Well, the Halving Report, of course.
Awesome.
The best. My favorite podcast, without a doubt, right now, too, other than you guys, is the All In podcast. It's incredible. They talk a lot, but 4 billionaires got together and put a podcast together. So I'd recommend it.
Trace, if you don't mind just telling us where we can follow you and learn more.
Awesome. Go to futuristconference.com. We're Canada's largest crypto conference. So if you're in Canada, you definitely should be there, but we have a huge international reach. So futuristconference.com. And if you're a developer, feel free to apply at ETH Toronto or ETH Women. It's free to apply, and we hope to see you all there in Toronto this August.
Thank you so much, Tracy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, you. Thanks for listening to the Halving Report podcast. Check out our show notes below, like the episode, and share it with a friend. Be sure to go to halvingreport.com where you can get a $30 discount on the BitFi device. BitFi is our official hardware wallet partnership of the show. Use our coupon code from our website at halvingreport.com/BitFi. And if you'd like to get into Bitcoin, purchase your first cryptocurrency for the first time, you can go to bitfi.ca/halving.